Hello and welcome to Craft with Sarah. It's time for another free Halloween SVG, and this time it's one that glows. Around this time last year, I created this 3D lantern design, which I put on my Cricut Access profile. Now that meant that you could only make it if you had the Cricut Access subscription and a Cricut machine. If you didn't have the subscription, or if you had a different brand of cutting machine, you were all out of luck. So this year, I thought, let's make it available to everybody. And I've put it available on my website as a free SVG, and other file formats are included too, which means now you can make this lovely 3D witch hat design no matter what type of Cricut machine you've got, and the file is absolutely free. This witch hat lantern is a lovely addition to your Halloween decorations. Put a battery-powered light or a submersible LED light inside and watch it glow all different colours. It's easy to put together and it looks really beautiful. So, what are you waiting for? Here's how to get the file and let's get started. You can find the free files to make this project at craftwithsarah.com/free-SVGs. Or click the link in the description of this video to go to the tutorial where you can download straight from that page. You'll need to register a free account on my website in order to download any of the designs. The download comes in a zip folder. Before you can get the files into your cutting machine software, you'll need to unzip that folder. Visit craftwithsarah.com/help for instructions on how to do that, as well as a wide range of other tutorials on how to use your Cricut, Silhouette, or Scan and Cut machine. Once you've downloaded and unzipped the folder, go into Cricut Design Space and start a new project with a blank canvas. Go into Upload over on the left, and then Upload Image. You can then either click Browse to find the file on your computer, or drag and drop it in. Make sure you choose the unzipped version of the folder, then go into 01 Cricut version. If you're using a Silhouette or a Scan and Cut, head to craftwithsarah.com/help for separate tutorials on which file to use. But for Cricut, it's 01 Cricut version. There'll be one file in here that starts SVG-01 in the file name. Click and drag that in, and this is what it looks like. Press Continue, and then Upload. That will insert it onto your project. You can close out this window on the left by clicking the arrow that appears about halfway down the page. The design should load in at 14 inches wide and 24 inches tall. If yours is different, change it to those measurements. There's a little bug in Design Space at the moment, which is when you upload a file that's all grouped together, if it comes to bigger than 12 inches, then you might get this exclamation mark appear in the Layers panel. What it's doing is it's calculating the size of the entire image rather than the individual parts within it and thinking it's too big to cut. Luckily, there's a really easy fix. Just click on the design and press the Ungroup button at the top of the Layers panel. And now you can see that exclamation mark has gone, and that means we'll be able to cut this out. The finished lantern is just over 6.5 inches tall when it's made. I don't recommend making it smaller than that because it will mean the spider web is quite difficult to cut. This design comes in ready to cut out. There's nothing else you need to change. I will just draw your attention to a couple of things. One is, if you're not really a spider fan, then you can move the spiders out the way and not cut them out, and then just have the spider web design on your hat instead. So what you can do if you don't want to do the spiders is click on them and then either hide them by pressing the eye that appears when you hover over them in the Layers panel, or you can click on the spiders and delete them with the delete button at the top. But I am going to do mine as is, so I'll leave those in. The other thing to bear in mind are these shapes down here should be cut from vellum, tracing paper, or some other translucent material. They'll help diffuse the light within all of the sides of the lantern, and also because it's translucent, it means it will hide your lighting mechanism so you won't see it. When you're choosing your black card, make sure you use card that's black on both sides, so don't use the type of card that's white on one side and black on the other, because you'll see both sides of these pieces when it's all put together, so it should be consistently black on both sides. And that's it, that's all we need to do, nice and simple. When you're ready to cut, press Make over on the top right, and that will separate out all the colours for you. You can change the paper size in the drop down here. And then if you want to, you can click and drag to move things about to use up less space on your cardstock. And by doing that, you can probably get it down from 4 sheets if you were using A4 card like me to 3. To move things, you can click on the 3 dots and move object. Choose another colour that's the same. So for me, I'm going for another black. Press confirm. And then you can move things about and optimise your cardstock that way. When you're happy with how everything's looking, press continue to connect to your Cricut machine and follow the on-screen instructions to get everything cut out from cardstock. I've got all of my pieces for the witch hat lantern cut out and laid out in front of me. I've used a glitter card for the purple and a sort of shimmery card for my base. You might notice my base colour is slightly different to everything else. It's because I only had 1 sheet of each, so I mixed and matched, but it's pretty close, so I don't think it will really notice. To make this project, you will also need some kind of light to go in it if you want to make it light up. I'm using these submersible LED lights that I found online. They come with a little remote and they light up all different colours, which is really, really nice. But you could also use battery-powered fairy lights or even battery-powered tea lights. Just make sure it is battery-powered because this is paper. You don't want to go putting a real candle in there. And also make sure it's the kind of lights that don't get hot. You'll also need glue to put this together, and an optional is some foam squares to add the spiders onto the sides to give them a little bit of pop. But if you don't have any, that's absolutely fine. You can glue them on instead. You may also want some sticky tape to help get all of the tabs stuck to the bottom of the witch's hat, but again, that's kind of optional. It depends a little bit on the cardstock you've used and how well it stays folded up. When we were looking in Design Space, I mentioned about cutting some of the bits from vellum. I've stuck together 5 of my panels already, so I'll show you how to do one. You can see how that looks with the vellum. It's translucent. You can still sort of see my hand, but not really. And it means that it's going to hide the actual light mechanisms inside the hat, but still allow the glow to come through beautifully. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to move the ones I've already done out the way. And first up, let's work on the 6 different side panels. So each one has 3 parts to it. There's the main side bit with the spider web. There's your vellum and a little spider if you've chosen to cut them. Turn the side panel upside down and then get some glue. Carefully go around the edge. Don't go into the little pointy bit at the top and don't go into the tabs or any further than the little cut lines. And I'm also going to add a little bit in there for a bit of extra stability. And then take one of the vellum pieces, place it on top. Push down very gently so the glue doesn't smush out. I would recommend leaving the glue to dry fully before doing this next bit, but I'm just going to show you on the video. I'm then going to fold. I'm not sure you can see on the video, but there's 2 little single cut lines in these tabs, and that is to show you where to fold. I'm going to fold upwards along both of those lines, like that, and then add the spider. I'm using foam squares, which look like this. Oop, I definitely didn't mean to just rip that, but never mind. But as I said earlier, you can glue them and they can go anywhere you want. There, just make sure that none of the legs go outside of the side panel, otherwise it's not going to fit properly. Now that's done, a bit more gluing to add this shiny little swirly whirly bit to the top of the hat. I'm going to add my glue to the back here. It's a little bit thin, so take your time. Then this will line up around the edge. And again, I'm going to push down very gently because I don't want that glue to come out the sides. That's all the prep work done. Now we can start putting together the structure. The next thing to do is to take the 3 pointy triangle pieces. This is going to make the structure of the witch's hat. We're going to put them together in this order. The first is the one that has this big slit along the bottom bit here. The second one has a slit in the bottom and the top. And the third one just has a slit in the top. So I'm going to take my first piece, the one with the slit in the bottom, and my second piece, and slot the second piece into that gap in the first one. Push it all the way in. Then hold them flat against each other. Line up the bottoms. Take the third piece and slot that over both of them. And then you'll end up with this kind of six-sided shape that stands up by itself. Next, we're going to give it some rigidity with these two pieces. Start with the smaller circle. This is going to go in to the top here, and we've got little cuts in the sides, and that is what's going to go in these side slits in this circle. I'm going to put this in, bring it all the way to the top, and it's a little tricky. Get one in first, slide it in all the way. Doesn't matter which way round it is. Slowly work it in to all the other bits. It's going to be slow going. Try not to rip anything. And make sure they all go in as far as it'll possibly go. So you can see now that's being held in place. The circle is nice and flat along the top, and it's holding that structure to make it all a little bit more stable. Then we've got this bottom bit. This is sort of similar, but this time our sides have got these hooks on, sort of like a clothes hanger. Ignore the tabs at the bottom for now. This is for securing it to the base of the hat. We're focusing on these hooks. So our next piece has got these rectangles. That's what the hook is going to go through, and then it's going to hook into the little slits on the edge to hold everything in place. I'll try and show you. So I'm going to go in with the little slit, fold it back on itself, and then the hook goes through the hole. Once it's all pulled in, it holds it in really securely. You can see that is not going anywhere. I'll try again. Put it in, slide it through the back, pull the hook through the middle, and then give it a little wiggle until the circle bit is held in place. And do the same for all sides. You'll know if it's not quite right because it'll come apart really easily. We're looking for that to be super secure in there. And that's that. Get all these sides nice and straight. Just sort of pulling them a little bit to help straighten them out. And that's our structure of the witch's hat all done. It should be nice and level along the top. Now we can thread it through the holes in here. It's going to go through the vertical holes that corresponds to each of these tabs. First, put each tab through one at a time. When it's through, fold it along that cut line. It doesn't matter which direction. Keep going through until they're all done. You might find that some start popping out as you're going. It depends on your card, because I've tested this on a few different types of card, and some of it, those tabs is enough to hold it in place, but some, like this one I'm doing now, it's going to need just a little bit of tape instead to hold these tabs in place. Add a bit of tape, making sure you don't go over any of the other holes. All right, so I'm going to go and finish doing this, and then we'll see how to put together the sides. Our hat is definitely starting to look more like a hat now. There's all of my 6 tabs taped in place. Now we just need to add on the sides. Take one, go up through the slit in the top, and then poke the 2 tabs along the bottom through the holes. You might need to just wiggle them in. They should just hold in place because these tabs are a lot bigger than the side ones. But if you're worried, you can tape it down again. Just remember, if you're taping it, only tape 5 of them, because if you do all 6, you've got no way to put the light in. So on this one, I'll just add a little bit of tape. We've got 3 different patterns, so I'm going to try and alternate them. So let's put these in order. There we go. Next one. Same thing. Go up through the hole. Tabs through the ones at the bottom. Pull them all the way through until you get to the bit that you folded. Make sure the top bit is in all the way, and then we'll go for a little bit of tape. Then repeat that until you've got 5 out of the 6 done. I've now got 5 of my sides in, just 1 to go, but first the lights need to go in. This is what the light I'm using looks like, and if you're new to using them, you need to open them up and see if they've got a little bit of paper protecting the battery and remove it. And screw them up tight, and it should come on. If not, you should have a remote in the pack to do it. And put that in the middle. I'm actually going to use 2. Here's another one. It just sits in there in that middle circle. I might even try for 3. Ooh, that's really effective. I've got to put my last side on now. It's going to be a little trickier now because it's heavy, especially with 3 lights in. And remember this one, don't tape, otherwise you can't get your lights in and out. You might just need to push it together a little bit to close up the gaps. That looks so cool. Oops, I just moved the lights about. I think actually you could probably use a bit of double-sided tape to get those lights in place so that they don't move about. Here's how my witch hat looks all lit up. I've turned my camera lights out so you can see it a little bit better glowing. It's very spooky. I really like how it looks with the lights glowing different colours. You can't really see, but 2 of them are the same and 1 is different, so it's giving a multicoloured effect all the way around. Here's a bit more light so you can see the actual hat a bit better. But there it is, a wonderful little table decoration or something to go on your bookshelf or mantelpiece this Halloween season. I hope that you enjoyed this video on how to make this slot together witch hat lantern for Halloween. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel for loads more Halloween crafts and Cricut fun. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!